Hump day. Oh, I don't know what happened. Shadowhawk just dropped out. Don't be mad, Shadow. Come back, baby. Come back. Uh-oh. There we go. Mute YouTube or you'll get an echo, echo, echo. Whew. It'd be hot. I apologize to everyone for being a little bit late today, but woo boy, it'd be hot. It'd be hot out there. Was doing a little yard work and then went over to mom's. I was like, oh, the time, I mean, an hour can go by like that. But last night, ooh, oh, hence the title, which I may have already used once before, Turn a Lighter Shade of Pale, which is from Nights in White Satin from the Moody Blues. I got so sick last night, working on my job, never reaching the end. I never thought I would reach the end of it. But I love you. XOXO. That's what that's for. Oh, me. Yeah. Oh, me. Oh, my, man. Did I get sick? I threw up 10 times. I went to Pocahontas West, the most dangerous route. We've talked about it before. Almost like single, very narrow streets, winding, so many at every stop sign. Just, oh my God, you wouldn't believe it. Shadowhawk, I think the person was on LSD when they laid out that mountaintop town. I just threw up like 10 times last night. Shouldn't ate those chips. I mean, I was, I heard one.
You up and down like a roller coaster or what?
Oh yeah, man, up and down and all around. And I mean, when you look at it on a map, it may not look that bad, but when you take into account the, and the, oh my God, and I've done that before. I mean, I've not got sick. Now, when I was a kid, I would get. I mean, if you think I'm white today, I'm sure, pale last night. Once I got the chips that I ate on the way there off my stomach and my drink, at the end I was dry heaving a little bit, because my stomach didn't have anything left in it,
Yeah, that's the worst. I hate that.
Yeah, it hurts. I mean, you can you crack a rib like that? I mean, I guess you can if you strain hard enough.
I know you can tear some, some stomach muscles and stuff too.
I had the flu one time where I did that for like few days. I mean, I had that for a whole week. This is over a decade ago when I lived in my apartment uptown, and I remember just over the sink, just dry heaving for an hour, just nothing coming up. Just, oh man, I just want to die.
It feels like you've been in a boxing match where somebody likes to throw body shots the next day.
Yeah, body blow. Yeah, like you're all bruised up inside and outside. Yeah. I rarely get sick, maybe once a decade. I mean, that's been the track record. I mean, or I don't know. I mean, but when I get sick, I get sick. And usually it's some form of the flu, COVID, which is another form of flu, virus. It's amazing that, that I'm stay as healthy as I do, considering all the different things that I'm around, mold and chemicals and different things,
Right.
I am trying today a new drink. You can see it's like lavender, light purple there.
Okay.
I mix these things up and use soda bottles and stuff. drink. This is one of these Wiley Light. You know, I collect the drink boxes
Right.
and some of these Wiley's variety packs that I got in Bono. I actually drove out of town to get these to see what they had, and to my surprise, they had quite a variety. And this was a big variety pack of like 20 of these things. And I'm trying Butterfly Dream today. Butterfly Dream.
Butterfly dream.
It's
Okay.
very sweet.
I've
Very
never
well. I
tasted a
mean,
butterfly, so
it's a lot sweet. I know. I don't know where they. And actually, since then, I've seen another variety have like cotton candy and some of these others.
mm,
Uh, Pink wedding cake is on here. Uh, bubble gum, and I can imagine what that sounds. And cosmic superhero. So maybe I'll try cosmic superhero. I'm going to try a new drink. I've been remiss in doing that. Um, and I still have some stuff to, mix up. So I'll mix up one of those and try that tomorrow. They have one called Mermaid. I've noticed Mermaid and cotton candy made from a different, not just Wiley's, so some of these are more universal flavors, but I've never heard of them.
right.
Sorry about being late, Shadowhawk, hanging you up in the chat and everybody. I went over to
Oh,
mom
no.
quite late. I got kind of caught 20 minutes till, and which is amazing I got back as quickly as I did, because she took the elevator down with another lady to the country store, which is on level 1. She's on level 2, which is kind of ground level. And I don't know why. That's kind of weird. But I guess it's maybe built up on a hill, and they built that other section there. I don't want to even
Right.
think of hills, man. When I got home, it took me a while. Even when I woke up today, it was like, just that I've been nauseated feeling, and your head swooning. I mean,
I got
when you get motion sickness, your eyes can't track. I don't look at like moving objects like trains or anything like that, because I can get a little nauseated. And as a
mm,
kid, they would want to go up in the hills on Sunday after services, and we would go, and it would be nice. We would play up there at parks and different things when we got there, but the trip there and back were just living hell. Please, let's don't go. And we would
Oi,
always go.
oi, Carrie, good to see you there.
In between that and the nosebleeds, they probably thought, boy, we got our hands full with this guy, and the hyperactivity, of course, that came along later, which I was always active. On Doc's show today, the crowns was discussed as being some kind of bot showing YouTube is watching rather than just viewing once in a blue moon. Something else I noticed today when leaving a comment, the first comment on Elliot Rodriguez's, it said number 1 after my comments, and I made 2
hmm
of them.
Yeah.
So does it
Yeah.
number the comments now?
Yep. It numbers them, and for
Okay.
some reason, you get some kind of like points or something every time somebody makes a new comment. Like I commented, and then Carrie commented. So if
Mm-hmm.
we look at Carrie's comment,
But now that's through
you
YouTube,
need to,
probably not
yeah, I can't.
StreamYard.
Yeah, I can't see it on StreamYard, but I bet you after her comment, it showed up with a number
It
2,
well
and
now,
it,
you got a crown and number 1, Shadowhawk, for your comment, and
right.
she got a crown and number 1.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, now maybe
Well,
that
then
was it because you did your comment earlier, and she's kind of like the very first one
maybe.
since we've
But
started.
if you look up at
Yeah.
the top of the bar there on your YouTube, you'll see like it runs a total. So you should have like 50 now because it's 25 uh per comment. So I don't know if that's a way they're keeping track of your interaction or
Now, where will I see the total?
you have to go into the YouTube and then look up at the top of your
Okay, I'm
bar.
showing that on the screen right now.
Okay. Now at the top of your chat bar, like above where all the chats are,
Mm-hmm.
you should have
Top
a little
fans.
purple square up there with a crown, and then it'll have like the numbers will go up as the uh,
Okay.
Nah, that's on my phone. It might be located somewhere else on your screen, but you should
Okay,
have a
well,
little like.
I'm seeing a crown here, and it's not purple. It says top fans, but maybe because no one's made a comment except Carrie, maybe it's not showing a total yet. I'm not
Yeah, I don't
seeing a
know.
number.
I
Uh,
yeah, I still don't know exactly what's going on with that shit. It just started like a week ago. I just started noticing it.
yeah. Carrie says, I think Dark Gift and KSS said it
Okay.
can be switched off the crowns. That's what I'm talking about. Ask Dark Gift. It can be probably explain it better. And I did
Okay.
see
And
your
Carrie says
Instagram
it is.
post, Carrie.
It's showing 75 XP at the top because Carrie made 2 comments and I made one. And it's probably going up every time Carrie comments again.
Says 75 XP at top. Okay, now I didn't see that. Okay. Send you a
I,
screenshot so you see it.
and I don't know if
That
they're just disguising it as a way of going, "Hey, great job," you're getting interaction, but they're actually
yeah.
keeping a close up. But I've heard a lot of people have been getting struck lately, ever since these crowns
Okay, so
started showing.
when on YouTube when I uh press that top fans, it's got Carrie, Gothic Angel, and Shadowhawk, you know.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, so it shows you. But I don't
right.
it does I don't see a number yet. But that's fine. I don't need to see a number
No,
or see
and
a
I don't even know what
screenshot.
the numbers mean anyway, so it's not like some big
Right.
revelation. And I'm sure at
Yeah,
some point.
I do deeply apologize for being late.
Oh, you're on a couple
Uh,
minutes, man. No big deal.
went over to mom's and yeah, I had to track her down. And really, I was like, when I got back in the truck, it was right at 4, I think, or it was right at 4, and I was like, wow, I can't believe it's not later than that. Okay, she did send me a screenshot, but it's so small there on Instagram, and also sent a novel of Doctor Who, which I was Doctor Who collection. Is that what you're talking about yesterday, Carrie? That looks like an older novel, one of those Target novels from the 90s, I guess it was.
Oh,
Or maybe could be even earlier than that. I do have some of those things. Okay, let's remove that. Nope, don't need to add to stage. Let's see. So many buttons, so little time, right? Don't make me president. I'll bomb Russia
sure.
before lunch. Yes, it's Target novels. Yeah, the little Target is kind of a set off for that. Virgin something also did Doctor Who novels. I can't remember what they were called. They were called Virgin something. Um, sent you a screenshot. I hope your mom is well. Yeah, she's doing good. She took another lady down there that uh, doesn't like to write. She's fairly new, been there since December. I heard her tell another lady. She doesn't like to ride the elevator alone, and she's got a walker. Mom's got an electric walker. Now,
No.
the latest here, you can see she gave me Shadowhawk the agenda that they come out with, the little newsletter, chapel
Uh huh.
services, socials, which is like ice cream Sunday social, which will be July 7th. Here, this is July, so this way in, I mean, July
Hmm.
6th, July 1st. There. Okay. Every Thursday. So they'll have ice cream tomorrow. They'll have ice cream Sunday social tomorrow. They've got a downstairs, like at that first level, they've got an actual ice cream place. They've got a workout room. Uh, they've got like a chapel. I think probably on every level they've got uh, just different things. A little store where they put donated items. And mom gave me an old razor. Check this out, electric razor. I said, Dad might even had one like this, right? So still in
Hmm.
the box. Uh, Look at that.
Oh yeah, my dad had one of those.
Yeah, yeah, and I bet you
Is
it
that an
still
old?
works, but it's got a
Is that
comb. I don't know if I want the
is
comb
that
right
an
there.
Arauco?
Uh, or a Remco, or something. Let's see. It is a Noah Elko. You are correct, sir.
Yeah, it's the same one my
Mhm.
dad had.
Yeah, fits in the little box here. So yeah, it's old. Uh, Nice little case.
I never liked the electric razors. I like old school razors.
Yeah. Well, I need one. that actually works. I've got an older one and a newer one, and for some reason, it's not cutting my hair. You know, I mean, maybe it's tensile steel by this point. Um,
Yeah, blades are
Now,
probably done.
before I take it off of me, my favorite subject, you know, you got Flag Day, you got a little bitty puzzle there and stuff. But look, man, you got all kinds of resident of the month. My mother,
Oh, awesome.
resident of the month. My mother. How about
Well,
that? Yeah,
Caroline is a joy to have.
I already knew that. Now I've got Miss Vaseline. There we go. Carolyn Christian was chosen as, let's see, uh, St. Bernard's. It says SBV. I don't know what the V for is for. Resident of the month. For many reasons, she is very welcoming to new residents. Is a prayer warrior. Is selfless and consistently shows appreciation to the staff. She comes to activities and encourages others to also. That's kind of an incomplete sentence. Carolyn is a staple to the puzzle area and greets everyone that rounds the corner and always asks them to stop and visit. Thank you, Carolyn, for being such a sweet, friendly neighbor and friend to so many. So
Oh, that's
I want
awesome.
to share that with you. Um, Look, they've even got here like people that were in the Army, National Guard, Air Force, Navy residents listed. So
Mm,
that's cool, you know.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
oh, this said apartment 10. I thought, man, that somebody's 110 that lives there. Actually, there is a person there that's 102 that's still
Wow,
there.
that's
Yeah.
up there.
So and they do have more than, multiples that hit 100, 101. You'd be surprised. Um,
Well, it sounds like
every
they're taking
comment,
pretty good
number
care of
one.
them.
Well, maybe if I make a comment, another comment, since we're going now through YouTube. Let me try that and see
Well,
if
you
I
know
make
what I'm guessing is I made my comment before the stream started, so it
yeah,
didn't tech. So then it gave Carrie number one. So she'll be number one every time she makes a comment until we get more comments. And I'm thinking that's what's going on.
right. Now I didn't get a number, even with my comment. I said,
Are you
hey,
looking at it? Are you looking at it on YouTube or StreamYard though? Because you're not going to
YouTube,
see it on. Okay, 'cause it
YouTube.
won't show
Yeah,
up
I was
on
in
stream.
YouTube when I made the comment. Yeah.
Hmm. I
No,
don't know, bro.
my guest moderator is 0.
Yeah, maybe you don't count in since it's your channel.
Um, Now I must. I've been remiss in saying, these wild flavors that I'll be drinking the next few days and trying out. They're
Mm-hmm.
TikTok trend inspired flavors. So I
No,
guess they ran a poll or something and said, "What
ask
should we name
TikTokers what
this, or
they.
what should we develop?" I don't know how they did that, but it's
Hmm.
TikTok. So maybe this is China propaganda. I don't know.
Yeah, they might be trying to
Um,
kill you. Right?
I don't know. Has anybody heard if they passed the big beautiful bill through the House? They passed it
Uh,
through
I
the Senate,
I know they
and
passed the Senate and they were talking about
very soon, in
getting
the
it
day, of
passed.
course,
I think they were
it would be
like today.
wild if by 4th of July, which was the deadline that the president and a lot of people were saying, yeah, I think it's going to overshoot that, but they might actually get it done before 4th of July, or at 4th of July, so he can kind of brag about it, I guess.
Well, the president told them too. He said, "If you guys don't have it done by the 4th of July, you ain't going home for vacation until you get it done."
Oh, well,
So
that's a good motivator because
there you go.
that's probably when they do their sly deals and get their money,
Hmm.
and barbecue, great eats, It's we need to get
Yeah,
away from
you got to
this.
go schmooze with your your supporters, your
Mm.
hometown.
Oh, yeah, but they say that, but do they actually do that? I mean, they do.
Oh yeah,
They're big
they do around here,
contributors.
dude. They
They're
do
big
every year
contributors.
here.
Well, I mean, they do here too in Arkansas. I mean, I get it. Yeah, I mean, Yeah, they'll probably go to some big barbecues and stuff like that, fish fries,
Hmm.
whatever. Their
Uh,
fireworks. Yeah, they'll go
yeah,
out in
just
the masses, but
just last weekend we had a big the mayor here now for the last 5 years has organized this citywide barbecue for anybody who's a resident of the city. You don't have to pay anything. It's got
yeah.
rides and all that stuff, and free barbecue and music. It's like a whole day big thing, down at the fairground.
Mhm.
But he keeps getting reelected, so apparently people like that picnic. I haven't made it to one of them yet.
Well, probably the closest I came to one of those was maybe a fish fry that our church had, and we invited the mayor. I guess we knew the mayor, at the time. And his
Oh,
house is just like a block away from me. He's passed away now, but he was mayor for like 20 years, like my third cousin, which was the
oh,
first mayor I really knew here in Jonesboro. We would go over his place. They had an indoor pool.
nice.
Uh, yeah, very nice. And even though, like I said, we were only third cousins, or you know, who knows, even by marriage, we would go over there occasionally and swim with it. I guess his grandkids or something like that. But
Right.
Mayor Stallings was like mayor for like 20 years till he, I guess, passed away or just didn't run again. And uh,
Cool.
Stallings still around here. We're related to the Stallings. Big, I mean, they owned a lot of that land, which has become something now. And in fact, I've heard some of them talk about, yeah, this used to be an apple orchard, where my bookstore I worked at was there, and then they had an RV place there forever, and now there's a Walgreens on the corner because they only build on corners. Um, but anyway, uh, yeah. So apparently, there's some more comics, out there. More comic stands, like different from the one I've got here.
Oh, yeah.
But I said, well, where did you find it? Tell us where you found it. Keon says, which I follow on X, he says, it's been a long time since I've seen comics in a convenience store other than Pete Samedi and Alterna a few years ago. We need more of this. And I said, yes, but what store is it? Tell us so we can find it,
Right.
here locally. Uh, but it's got a new header, and here's a picture there, Superman header on this one. Um, Apparently, this was stuff reprinted behind me from 2011, 2016, 17, I think. But now this is even more recent stuff because I see that metal up top. I see that metal title, and that was about 6 years ago.
Yeah,
You
something
know,
like that. I remember
it's
that.
pretty
Yeah.
new. Yeah.
Vaguely remember that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing these are fairly new comics, probably things that didn't sell well, kind of like the big bundle things. I guess they're polybagged. Hopefully these have but I'd like to find these. I don't know. See, you got the little tie babies there. This is not a Dollar Tree, but I did ask, is this a Dollar Tree? Where is this? Is that a
Yeah,
five and
don't
below? Maybe
maybe. Do you
they've
guys
got the,
still have a 7-Eleven down by you?
we've never had a 7-Eleven. If
Oh,
I've
okay,
been
you
to
weren't far. You
7-Eleven,
weren't
it's
far
been at
enough
Dollar
south
Tree.
then.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying they don't have them down here. It's just like we've never had one move in. We just got a
Right.
Dunkin' Donuts not too long ago. And I don't think it's going
Mm.
to do well at all. We already have a Krispy Kreme.
I don't
Here's
know.
your,
I get tired of Krispy Kreme after a while. They're just too sweet.
yeah. Well, I mean, Dunkin' Donuts not as sweet, I guess. I
Yeah, and
like the cake.
they offer like lunches and stuff like that, and like all kinds of coffee drinks and shit.
But now, which coffee do you prefer? Krispy Kremes, which I do, or Dunkin's? I like both.
Dunkin's is pretty
You
good
like
actually. Like
Okay.
around here anywhere, Dunkin' Donuts coffee is pretty good.
Here's your
And it's not
patriotic.
it's not like freaking Starbucks expensive. Oh, I had this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too. I don't think I do now. Now I kind of mimicking the raising of the flag on
Mm,
Hiroshima. Yeah, the Red Skull and Hitler there on the cover. So Hitler cover there.
pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah. And up in the box, Namor and Nick Fury. So you got to wonder what that's about. I can't
Mm.
remember. With Captain America. What if Captain America had led an army of super soldiers in World War II? I guess they would have cleaned house, right? Killed
Pale,
everyone.
pale rider. Good to see you, sir.
Hey, pal. Rexstown doesn't allow dot Indians in their town. No 7-Elevens for you. What's a dot Indian?
Up here, I call them
Oh,
push start. Push start.
is that with the pimple right here? The
Yeah,
red.
they got the button in the forehead,
Yeah.
or else they
Hey,
got the
Bone.
towel. So it's either push
Uh,
start or pull.
oh, okay.
Hey, Bone.
I'm glad you explained that to me. I'm still confused. Don't try and explain it any further.
Okay, I don't
Uh,
want to get you in
new
trouble.
discovery. New discovery that will change history.
I have a
A
new
huge and
discovery
start.
just for you. Oh my!
What's the news? The breaking news. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, that just
Just
sounds
coming
like an
across the
'80s
teletype.
Diddy song. New discovery will change history. A huge and startling discovery. You can believe it or not, but uh, I've heard theories on this before, but now this, we'll see here.
Oh,
A
don't ask me
huge
about food.
has been made. A huge and startling discovery has been made at the Devil's Tower in Wyoming.
Mm, mm, mm.
Bum, bum, bum. So let me show it here. There's the Devil's Tower, right?
Everybody should remember that from Close Encounters of the Third Time.
Have
Richard
you seen
Dreyfuss
it in
built
person,
that out of
Chatterbox?
his mashed potatoes.
Have you
What?
seen it? Have you
Devil's
seen it?
Tower?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you have.
yeah. I've actually driven through there. Yeah,
Okay. Now, is there a road where you can kind of look off and see it? I guess. I mean, you could probably see that for
yeah.
miles,
You
right?
you can get up pretty close to it. Yeah, I don't think they let you actually like get right up to it.
Like
But you
mountain
can get.
climbers. No, they're not going to let anybody climb it.
No, no,
It's
yeah. So
it's a
yeah, I
national
don't.
treasure, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I think there's a road that's close, but it's not like there's no access.
Well, they have discovered it. Scientists from the Wyoming State Parks Department. Get ready for your mind to go. Oh, that's AI. uh, from the Wyoming State Parks Department were conducting photographic seismic readings below the tower when
Mm.
they discovered an incredibly large petrified root system below the tower.
So I think it might have been an actual old tree.
An old petrified tree. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. It kind of looks
Yeah.
like the trunk of a tree if you think about it, like a cut off tree trunk.
Hmm.
That's
And I
pretty
mean,
cool.
that's, the what they discovered right there. And there's been speculations by the tinfoil hat. This is wake up. Some of these things were trees, massive. And in the early days of the earth with high oxygen content, things
Hmm.
grew bigger. You had
Oh
centipedes
yeah,
that were like 6 foot tall or eight
right.
foot long.
Well, that's why we had
Yeah.
massive fauna and bugs and
Yeah.
dinosaurs and all that.
That grew to massive proportions. Even bugs,
Mhm.
dragonflies, the size of a car, probably. You know,
Yeah,
it's
pretty big.
that's
Yeah.
pretty big. And giants. I do believe giants existed. I mean, I've got to. The Bible says they did, and there's been skeletons, and I mean, even in modern day, there's been people that have been massively tall, big. I mean, if you've ever
Hmm.
met, I mean, you think Jim Shooter was big. He would have been considered small child compared to some of these massive giants.
Oh,
I
sure.
worked I worked seismic in the Canyon lands in Utah. Wow. Oh, you worked. Okay.
Worked. Oh, that
So
sounds like a fun job, pal.
So what do you think? Do you think, Pale Rider, that that's, a thing, you know, an actual thing? I do. I wouldn't doubt it. It does look like a tree, and people have, uh,
Looks to me like a big
speculated.
old tree stump.
Yeah,
The
the
question is, who cut the top off that fucker in such a nice smooth cut?
yeah, well, yeah, there you go. I've not ever seen the top and what it looks like, but yeah, it is, just
It would
straight
have to
across.
have been massive.
The Parks Department released a statement saying, "We have discovered what looks like a giant root system stemming from the base of the Devil's Tower. The root system has been measured at 4 miles deep by
Damn.
7 miles wide, which,
Yeah.
if you had a massive tree like that, I guess it would go
Oh yeah.
4 miles deep, seven
No.
miles wide. Wow. Uh, we
That's
are
amazing.
We are currently conducting studies and tests to confirm that this is actual root system and not a coincidence. This discovery is on the edge of rewriting history and science as we know it. We will continue to update you with any information, uh, as uh, as at this time information is very limited." Wow, that's pretty massive discovery. If it pans out, right? And my co-host is gone. His phone was damaged recently. There is something in the Grand Canyon too. The bottom portion is off limits to everyone. Supposedly there is ancient ruins there. Yeah, there are definitely petroglyphs, and some of that has been actually recorded. Yeah, they're keeping people out. And when you go to some of these cave systems, just the breath of exhaling and touching things, the oils on your hands can destroy the natural, you know, stalactites, stalagmites, whatever. And if there are, you know, actual, rotting paint or some early, then yeah, that can be lessened over time just by the exhaust of your breath. So, ruin that pristine environment. So some of those places should be, but there should be transparency of what's there. But then, when the government owns 80%, and I get it for nuclear testing and stuff like that, and other things, they own 80% of Nevada, and other things. I mean, I believe we have a massive, since we're talking underground, I believe we have a massive underground transportation system in this country that very few people know about, Shadowhunt. Have you heard about that? A massive, going from coast to coast, and, you know, they have an underground, so they can transport a lot of stuff underground that we don't even know about, supplies and different things. And they do, especially in military armaments and stuff. There's been too
Oh,
many truckers come out with stories, you know, and something that massive. It's been kept pretty quiet, but I, believe that I believe that there's an underground, internet system, interstate
yeah.
system.
I don't think it goes everywhere, but I'm sure it takes things from important places to other important places.
Strategic
Hmm.
point. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
you could probably get to New York to
Or
Colorado easy,
or
you know.
bunkers, the underground bunker systems that
Yeah.
they have for government and shit.
I believe we know very little about our ancient past. Yeah. Pale Rider
Yeah,
says,
that's true.
how could ancient people build huge stone statues and structures, and we still can't figure out how they did it? Yeah, even with massive cranes that can't lift some of that stuff.
Oh, dude, and some of the measurements and stuff, like the every stone in the pyramids and stuff are like perfectly formed,
Hey,
to
RJ.
fit together. So, I, I mean, how they had the capability of doing that back then is just amazing.
Yes, I will send you the link to that. Glad I could, that was on X. Uh, that was on X. So, Pale Rider, let's see. Let me go over here. All right. I don't have to go over here. Let's see. Send via direct message to Hell, you're on X, aren't you? Yeah, there you are. Oh, there you go, pal. I sent it to you. And Bone, if you want it as well, I'll send it to you or anybody wants that. But yeah, um, yeah, that only confirms what I thought. I thought, once I first heard that Devil's Tower might be a tree that was lopped off. Of course, I've never seen how big and massive Devil's
It's
Tower
huge,
is, but it must be massive because the root system goes down 4 miles
dude.
and
It looks
out
like an
7 miles.
actual. That's why people for years thought it was just a strangely formed mesa because it's what it looks like. It looks like one of those
Yeah,
giant stone towers. I mean, it ain't small.
yeah. Well, I mean, we have pyramids here in America that aren't really talked about. So, Bone, I'm going to send that to you as well.
Yep, I've heard that as well.
Oh, where the hell are you? Are you on X?
Of course, we're supposed to have our own Nessie too up there in uh, was it Chesapeake Bay? I think they call it Chessie instead of Nessie or something like that.
Oh, oh yeah. There's cryptids. I saw something the other night. I didn't talk about it, but I couldn't explain what life form it was. Anyway, I'll talk about
Cool.
that in a second. Bone, if you will send me a message, please DM me over on X and then make it easy on me to send that to you because I did a search and you didn't come up. But I'll be happy to send it to you. Toot sweet. Um, yeah, man, I just caught it scuttling across the road. It
Huh?
was probably about that big. I don't know. Uh,
No.
the lighting, I don't know, man. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the unexplained things, like a few years ago I had straddled what I believe was a bat on the road because the way it was walking. Uh-oh. His phone gave out again. Um you may be at work, Bone, I don't know. But yeah, just DM me and I will gladly send that to you during the show here. Um yeah, I mean, every now and then you just keep glimpses. Like, I saw a deer last night, a couple deer on the side of one of the roads. Most of it's identifiable. There was a feral looking cat that I'd never, who knows? I mean, that I once saw that did not look like your regular type of cat. So, do I believe in America there's probably undiscovered life forms? Maybe. I mean, they're still finding stuff in China, but we're talking remote areas there and like in Laos and other places. In the United States, yeah, something can be overlooked, but I mean, we are branching out, into these rural areas and stuff. And yeah, there's probably species. That would be interesting to see how many species are within America, per year on average are discovered new varieties, new jellyfish and things in the ocean. I don't think we just scratched the surface. Who knows? There may be megalodons, but if there are, none have washed up on shores that I know of. You know, of course, there wouldn't be much of a megalodon left. But like most sharks, just mostly cartilage. Um, but I mean, there have been, there was that armored fish that was discovered in the 30s, and there's been half dozen sightings since then. And they said it was extinct. It's a deep water fish, but it's not extinct. They found fossils, and I described the fossil record. There is a thing called the Luciferian flood, and I don't know when that came about and was written about. I've got a book on it from 1872, 3. It was early 1870s back here somewhere, or I may have moved it. Um, that discusses that flood, an earlier flood before Noah's flood. I do believe that if it wasn't that account, maybe when the Nephilim and others were destroyed, Noah's flood, because I mean there is a flood record. That's undeniable, I think, from archaeology, from the sedimentary. Now, when it comes to radioactive carbon dating, that can be you can. Welcome back, show. Pale Rider says when I
That's
was
14
working.
meter an hour, man. That shit's getting old.
Yeah, I know it's kicking you. Well, 20 minutes come up on an hour. Hang with me as long as it kicks you again. You're getting
I'm
all
trying,
bruised up.
brother. I'm
Yeah,
trying.
I know you are.
This thing keeps kicking me every time I even fucking move, dude. It just like beeps and then fucking I'm gone. And like, the fuck? I can't even move my hand.
Uh, what they have you doing today? Were you like way up in the air again?
Yeah, all fucking day.
How long is that going to be? All this week or for a
Hopefully, I'll
while?
finish it up tomorrow, but probably
Mm.
not until next month or whenever I go back. Yeah, next Monday.
Now you have jobs that they give you that you actually had to wait for the parts to come in occasionally, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
You
Right now
try
I'm
and
waiting. I'm waiting on my fucking lazy ass boss because I told him I need fucking adapters for these connectors or I can't make this shit work. Told
mhm.
him I'll run down the road and get them myself. I'll put them on my fucking card and bring you a receipt. No, I'll go get them. He didn't go get them today. I told him at the end of the day. I said, getting ready to start doing the outside cameras. I still can't finish these inside ones until you get me the fucking connectors, man.
And this
Whoa,
is
whoa, whoa.
that's security cameras.
Yeah,
Hmm. They want it. Big
just
Brother wants to
upgrading,
keep on.
replacing all the old ones with better. They got better night vision and all
How
that
old are
shit.
the old systems, and what are they doing with the old cameras?
Putting
Just
them in a
chunking
big
them?
old box,
Yeah,
hanging on to, just in case.
yeah. They couldn't like gift you one for your house of two or three, right?
Well, I would. You gotta have the little box to hook it up to, like the DVR box and shit, so that you can actually, record
Okay.
things. And I mean, I could still set it up as a camera, I suppose, if I just had a monitor or something, just so I could see outside. But I don't have any way to record it. But you can pick up those little systems for like $150, dude. They're cheap as fuck.
Yeah,
That's why.
they've got
That's why it
cheap
kills
on
me. My boss goes out and buys the cheapest shit in the fucking world. It's like, dude, you're all worried about, we've got thousands and thousands of dollars of raw material in here. And so you're going to go out and buy us a $250 security system. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, and
Everything they
and
do
and
around here is fucking backwards.
expect that cheap system to last 20, 30 years.
Yeah, and I'm supposed to make it look perfect, and everything's got to look better than the old system. Hold
Mhm.
on one second. I got to answer a question for me. Don't.
Okay. Uh, a Pale Rider says, when I was working seismic in East Texas, I saw a red wolf. Oh, I saw a fox the other day. It wasn't sure. I wasn't sure at first, but I ran into a wildlife officer, and he confirmed, but asked me to keep it quiet. Well, now, why are red foxes? I mean, I've seen red foxes here in Arkansas. They're not considered. Oh, a red wolf. A red wolf. Where am I getting foxes? I just saw red and maybe said foxes. Red wolf. Hmm. That's supposed to be a rarity, huh? Or maybe extinct. They're probably too far away from any shoreline to wash up on one. Maybe. Seen weird things too. Yeah. Shadow Soon, where is this job site? That's I think that was, where he works, around Chicago. Edwin in the house. Hey, Edwin. Yeah, that's wild about Devil's Tower. Now I really want to go see it. You know, there was some pictures left by
Sorry,
uh,
ruler
a,
issues.
a resident left these pictures of like the oldest house in France, castles, other things that were in
Oh,
the
cool.
UK and France. Just left a whole, I guess they probably left for hospice or maybe another nursing home or something. They left all their vacation stuff, which might have been in the 90s, maybe 80s. I don't know. But all these
Um,
pictures, and they didn't have any dates on them. Um, but now the sort of the scheduler of for events there, she was there at the puzzle table too. And she took her phone and I said, well, look at this one. That's obviously probably 1500s. And it was like a house, the oldest house in France, still standing from like 1400s, which is
well,
amazing considering they were occupied by Nazis and bombed and
oh yeah,
all, you know, I mean,
all the different wars they've been through and the
yeah,
revolution.
yeah. Uh, Independence Day opened in theaters 29 years ago. In 1996, I had a bad year. I went to see that I broke up with my wife, my second wife, and I went to see Independence Day just to get my mind off of it, you know. So that movie's always got connotations for me. Good movie though. I found this funny, and 2,000-year-old shoes have magnetic earthling earthing plates. Uh, Earthing and heals and regenerates the body. Okay, I can see that. Our ancestors were smarter than we think. They
Smatter
just felt
anything.
smarter. Maybe they did that on purpose. I don't know. I thought that was. I do think you should probably stay grounded, though. You know, we have rubber soles and stuff like that. When I'm around the house, I wear socks, but I'm grounded all the time.
Listen,
When I'm at work, of course, I wear shoes that have rubber soles, but I wear this
Beatles had an album
bracelet
called
every
Rubber
day. There's
Soul.
not a day of streaming that you've not seen me with this on, probably. Um, this is a bionic band. It photo aligns resonant technology. Can't ask you what it does. It keeps your balance and your strength of your body more focused. And when you're around electoral, no, we're not voting for anything here. Electrical
Electrical.
devices like this, you know, uh, it,
So do you
you
think
know,
it actually makes any difference for you, Rex?
it does. There's a test where you stand on one leg and you put your arms out and
That,
you get another person to pull on your
yeah,
arm.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
for some people, it works.
I've
That's why I
seen all.
bought it.
I've
I used
seen it. I've seen all the tests. It's sorry to tell you, that's a scam.
I can't explain it. I mean, it's not hypnotism. It works.
It's self
If I take
hypnotism.
this off, I don't have near the balance and strength as I do with it on.
Exactly. It's self hypnotism.
Okay, it's AI. Anyway, moving on.
Way older than AI, buddy. People have been doing that for fucking 1,000 years.
Okay.
You
All right.
you can hypnotize yourself into
Did you
all
know?
kinds of things.
Okay. Well,
Hypnosis is
I
real. That's an
I use
actual
it on
proven
people.
thing. It just depends
I've
on
used it on.
if you're susceptible.
I tested it with different people. I mean, I mean, I don't even tell them. You know, I say, let me try this test with you. You know, and have you wear this. You know, and I do it, you know, and then of course you can't budge them. I mean, not like if they don't have it on, and I don't tell them what it's about, so I think it works. But anyway, you don't.
I,
That's fine.
I, 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 all I
Do
all
you
I
know
have is
why?
all I have
Do
is
you?
anecdotal evidence. But I
Okay.
did do a little research on these when they
Well, I
first
mean,
came out.
that's all I got either, Shadowhawk, really. But I mean, I'm just speaking from experience that
Well, I'm just
I think
saying
it
I
does
looked into them a little bit because I was looking into
work. Mhm.
buying one and all that kind of stuff. Because I back in the day,
Thank you.
I believed in pyramid power when I was a teenager. I
Oh,
don't know
did
if
you?
that's still a thing or not. I think it actually is. I think there's a
Oh,
reason
yeah. That's only
why
grown over
pyramids
time. Yeah.
why
There's
pyramids have been built the way they were. But
yeah.
I mean, those things from scientific analysis and everything of them, they're a rubber band with a hologram stuck into the middle of it, and there's nothing special about anything that it's made of. So there's no reason why in any kind of scientific way that it should actually do any of the things that it claims it should do. But
Yeah.
for whatever reason, the people that use it and love it say they love it. So it is
You
what
know,
it is.
I never take this off. I shower with it. I mean, I've had it on for years now. I mean,
Mhm.
I I had Mickey wearing it. I went with this without a little while, and then until I found him dead. And then when they were flipping him over and he was obviously dead, I
He just
called.
stripped it off his corpse, you evil bastard.
Well, yeah, I said, yeah, I want that band. I want that band. I gave him that to wear, and they took it off his dead cold hand and handed it to me, and I put it on.
All right,
I haven't taken it off
stuck it
since.
on and got a chill. Whew.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. Do you know why your ear is configured the way it is? You know why you got this little,
Yeah, it
you
helps
know?
you to hear better.
Well, yeah, but well, okay.
It
I mean,
draws the sound into your oral nerve.
you are correct, sir. Check this out.
Did you know you could use Play-Doh to pull a crazy trick on your brain? And it all has to do with those weird folds we have in our ears.
Mark, this is weird.
Pearson, it's for science. As you can see here, when I blindfolded Pearson earlier with no Play-Doh in the folds of her ears, it was obviously really easy for her to tell where I was.
Right there?
But now that she has Play-Doh in her ears, watch what happens next.
What the? Like down here?
So, it helps you to locate where noises are.
Well, yeah, of
You know,
course it does.
captures it and then kind of directs it back in there like that.
Yeah,
So
like
you
you
got to
never read
wonder.
a Daredevil comic.
Now, how does Spock do it though? His just kind of go up and out.
Well, no,
Antennas.
actually, the bigger your ear, the better your ear. So the one, like if all the cats you see with the big pointy ears and stuff, they have really, really
Uh-huh.
good hearing. That's why bunny rabbits have big old pointy ears. Well, they're kind of rounded; they're not pointy, but you know what I mean. But
Yeah. Yeah, and your ears and nose are two things that never stop growing as you grow older.
mm-hmm.
So my
Crazy,
nose
isn't
is
it?
getting bigger.
Yeah, mine
It's
too.
yeah.
Hopefully, I die soon. I want to mess up my beautiful face. Too late.
Yeah, well, I'll be Jimmy Durante by the time I die. I have no or Carl Malden. You know,
Bet you do. I
Kirk
gotta have a
Douglas
good
had
night,
his cleft.
Princess Calabash, wherever you are.
Kirk Douglas had his cleft in his chin. Carl Malden had it in his nose. In fact, I think that was an extra butt crack. Because he had that
Hey, bud.
double lobe. He had that
Mm-hmm.
double
Yeah.
lobe thing on the end of his nose.
Well, like Kirk Douglas, we'd call it a butt chin, but yeah, what's his name? Had the butt nose, man.
Shadow, her cat, has small ears, but I barely touch a bag of treats, and he's in my face. Yeah, the
Yeah, but
rustling of
they're
plastic.
small, they're pointy, and they've got lots of little hairs on them. I guarantee it. So that cats have very, very sensitive hearing care. Some of the best on the planet.
In memory of Jim Shooter. Yeah, I love this, man. I mean, this brings back memories. Jim Shooter did so many of the comics that I loved. Here, Avengers with George Perez. I mean, come on, man, going up against
Mm.
Ultron. Look at that. Now that if comics had action pages like this, they would sell. This was great.
Tree
This
Goblin
was,
would dip them in water. Oi, oi, tree.
and Tree Goblin would drip them, and dip them in water. Yes, and totally destroy. Um, A nearly
Yeah.
1,000-year-old medieval sword has captured international attention, Shadow, after its incredible discovery in the river, let's see, the Koti Linskonen River, close to the town of Montfruit in the Dutch province of Utrecht. And the only reason I know what word that is, because Utrecht, that's where they make like the Utrecht brand of like oil paints. You know, a
Oh,
lot
okay.
of oil
Yeah,
come
yeah,
from
yeah.
there.
Yeah, I've seen that. Okay, I recognize that.
On
Tails
on
looks pretty
uh,
good to see, kid.
on
Miss
March
Christie.
1st, 2024, the sword was discovered by construction workers, revealing itself from a clod of clay picked up from under the riverbed. Now
Well,
known
what the
as
hell's it
the
made out of?
well, let's see if it says Linscoten sword. The sword has been dated in between 1050 to 1150 CE. So, a period in which the bishopric of Utrecht held sway over the region and uh, fruit, 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 fruitful territories, I guess, like Holland and uh, Fland, Flanders, were
Okay, yeah,
gaining
Flanders.
political power.
Mhm.
Huh?
So, was it made of like what? I mean, is it like bronze, or gold, or silver? What's it
All
made
right.
out of?
Well, it's going to talk a little bit about that here. The sword's most
'Cause-
remarkable aspects lie in its decorative symbolisms. Both sides of the blade are adorned with extremely delicate inlays of copper alloy wire that form spiritual symbols. But it really doesn't tell you what the base metal is.
Well, how the fuck did it not just rust away?
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Maybe the
yeah.
copper helps slow it down. I don't know.
Uh, it
But
looks
even that copper should be all fucking green and funky looking.
well, maybe if air got to it, and who knows after they cleaned it, you know.
No, dude, you don't ever clean an ancient weapon. No. They
Okay,
might,
I know
they will,
because of the patina and the
yeah, they'll remove the
yeah,
actual like if there's shit on it, but they're not gonna like clean it.
yeah, yeah. You're probably right on that one. Yeah, you
I mean, at
never
least
like
not until after they study it for a while. I mean, eventually, who knows? But
Peter Sametti says thanks to 157 backers and the in-house printing campaign was successful. Newsprintcomics.com will direct you to online order form where you'll also find formatting information, downloadable templates, and more. Printing services launch August 1st. Thank you, he said.
hell, pizza, man.
Uh, Groken coming out, I guess. Adam Archer was Groken 3, I guess, maybe. I think that was the
Adam
last one
Archer.
for filling.
That's kid. Is it? Well, maybe
Hey,
he's.
Christy.
I thought that was all Kenneth Rocafort. Who the hell's Archer?
What, Groken?
Yeah,
That's Keith Rockerford.
right. What did you just say was
Yeah.
coming out?
Um, that was Pete Smetty's I was talking about before that.
No, and then you just said something else about Groken number 3, but you said a different different name. It wasn't Rocafort.
Oh, okay. Well, the mind that says one thing and the mouth says another in front of this,
Mm.
so I don't
Okay,
know.
you had me confused. Corn fused.
Yeah. Corn fused. Okay.
I live in
Christy in the house,
Indiana.
Flip City Magazine. Hell, to you. Yeah, I guess that's Groken 3. I don't see a big 3 there, but yeah, gorgeous series.
Yeah,
I know Amanda
Kenneth
B
is
loves it. Clash of the
Kenneth is
Titans was
amazing.
released in the UK on this day 44 years ago.
Woohoo!
Love that movie. Ray Harryhausen's last movie to work on.
Yeah, dude, I think I saw that like 3 or 4 times at the theater while it was there. I
And the
kept going back.
remake was good. And I think the sequel to the remake was even better than just
Yeah,
the retelling of the first movie.
it was pretty
Those were
good.
two
Yeah,
good
I liked
movies.
it. I liked the new ones. The only thing I
Uh-huh.
didn't like was that they turned Pegasus black. That was stupid. Well, you got to race swap
Yeah.
Pegasus.
Yeah, I guess I missed that one.
Other than that,
Here's
cool.
another Here's another story. In 1913, no shoot. See, I'm looking at it there. It says 2013, and I say 1913. Okay. In 2013, a California couple took a routine morning walk, Shadowhawk, on their rural property, just as they had
Okay.
many times before. It was meant to be a peaceful moment in nature, nothing more.
Grizzly
But
bear
that
ate them both.
but that quiet stroll quickly turned into a life altering discovery, one that would mark their place in the annals of American treasure finds. While walking beneath the trees, the husband noticed a rusty object poking out from the earth. Thinking it might be some old scrap metal, he bent down and dug a little, uncovering a heavily sealed tin can. When they pried it open, their eyes widened in disbelief. Gold coins, dozens of them gleaming as if freshly minted. Their hearts raced. They kept digging around the area and, to their amazement, unearthed a total of 8 metal cans, which each filled to the brim with gold. In total, the couple found 1,427 coins dated between 1847 and 1894, a treasure trove from California's gold rush era.
How much
Through
did
the
it end up being worth?
Though the face value of the coins was only $27,000 only, that was a lot of money back then. That might have been a robbery. Who knows? Their
Right.
rarity and pristine mint condition pushed the collector's worth over $10 million at auction. Dubbed
Nice.
John and Mary in the media to protect their identity, the couple wisely enlisted legal appraisal experts to handle the find. Most of the coins were sold through an online auction, with some pieces fetching with some pieces fetching record-breaking prices. They donated a portion of the proceeds to charity and kept a few coins as keepsakes of their extraordinary discovery. Theories swirled around the origin of the treasure. Was it hidden by a wealthy individual during a financial crisis, or loot stashed by outlaws who never returned? No one knows for sure, but for the coin collecting wife, it was the ultimate dream come true, finding one of the greatest buried treasures in American history right beneath their feet.
Well, I don't know if you remember or not, Rex, but there was a time when the American government was doing a callback on all gold coins.
During the 40s, right, the
Yeah,
30s with
I believe,
FDR,
well,
right?
yeah, I think so. But it
I
was
don't think this
actually,
falls into this. These are older
no,
coins than
probably,
this.
yeah, that's probably older than that. But
Remember that story, Shadow, that I told you about the girl and her father died, and her father had 6 of those coins in mint condition in his safety deposit box. Well, she let the word get out about the coins or something, and the government came in and seized all 6 of them. They said these should have been seized and melted down.
Yeah.
They were always government property. So he would have been better. She would have been better to either sell them under the table or melt them down and get the gold value.
Well, he would have been best off telling her sell these on the collector's market, before the government has a chance to get a hold of them, because it'll be a lot harder for him to squeeze them off somebody, because they swooped in while technically the ownership was still in question. If she would have sold them to a private collector, they're going to have a lot, and they're going to go after them, not her. So.
Would you get your haircut cut by a robot?
I'd give it a shot. Why not? It's going to grow back.
Yeah.
Not like I'm going bald. As long as you didn't cut my head clean off.
Yeah. I don't know that I would trust one of these things. I mean, one false move, you could lose an ear, an eye.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I mean, it'd be kind of spooky, but I'd give it a shot. See what happens.
Maybe everything's going to be done like this. This
I
is
mean,
stuff
I got a pretty simple hairstyle, dude, so it should be pretty easy for him.
Yeah. And it probably, well, you'd think it would have suction. I guess that would suck the hair up, though. I guess it's letting it
Yeah, it's
drop.
probably got
But
a vacuum up underneath where that
yeah, I don't think it
blade is.
does because I see the hair moving. I mean, it's
Well, yeah, but
actually,
you're gonna see a lot. If it's taken off a lot of hair, you're gonna see hair falling. But yeah, I don't know.
well, yeah. Well, now
That
if
might
it
just.
sucked, what I'm saying, if it had the suction, it would suck the hair out of place.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know that I would do that, Shadowhawk. I just don't think I'd trust
Well,
it.
did you remember back in the day they had the thing you could connect to your vacuum, the Floby, and it would suck your hair up in the air, and
Yeah.
you just
Hmm.
buzzed it down.
Bone says, "Do you have to tip a robot?" Maybe the
Yeah, but
programmer, because all those hairstyles are probably programmed in.
some of them are heavier than others. Bring a crowbar. We'll see how
Yeah.
long it takes people to get that one.
David Williams cover from the past. I don't know I mean, it's fairly recent. I do not like this cover, Shadow. The expression on the face, of Wolverine, it looks weird to me. The coloring is not that great.
Yeah, it's.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know if that's. I don't know if the coloring is David's fault, but yeah, I'm not too sure about that face either.
Hmm.
But I don't know
Yeah, it just
how long ago this was either. I mean, this may have been a while.
right.
Can you
Yeah, I
read the
don't
year
know. He
on that?
didn't.
Hold on. Nah, they don't have
Yeah,
the year.
I'm
It
not
just says
seeing a
number
price or
20.
anything.
Yeah, it just says
Wolverine
number
First
20.
Class. I don't know when that came out,
Me neither. I have no idea.
but yeah, that face
I mean,
was
I
a
like
little
the
wonky.
pose and the composition, but
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
the
but
the
I mean,
face.
how many times has that been done? I mean, he's supposed to
Well,
look
I mean,
menacing, and I don't think he looks menacing, even with the claws. That face, that mongoloid face. Sorry to the mongoloids out there, but yeah, that face just looks funky, and too elongated,
it looked like
really.
a funky face, but it still looked menacing. Yeah,
Yeah, scare me. Yeah,
I mean,
I
kind
don't
of.
know. Yeah, I didn't even know they did a Wolverine First Class. That's a new title for me. I'm not
Yeah,
aware of that.
you got me, dude. I have no clue when that came out.
Mhm. I've got to wish a happy belated birthday. Okay, let's take two. Uh, a happy birthday, belated birthday to Bloody Red Baron, Mike Barron's birthday yesterday.
Yeah, it was
Yep,
Mikey's birthday yesterday. I
and I
saw him
did
over
wish him over
on
on X.
Katie did an afternoon stream yesterday.
Did you read his Flash series? I did, and I enjoyed it.
Mike Barnes?
Yeah,
I
Mike
may
Barron's
have.
Flash series.
I may have and not realized it. What years
Number
was he?
one, 75 cents. Butch Geist was doing the artwork.
Oh yeah, I probably read them then. I probably got a
Yeah,
bunch of
I,
them.
I actually enjoyed that. That's when Wally West, they got rid of Barry and brought in Wally West as the Flash. So this was
Was that right after Crisis?
and
Or
here you go.
not
Number
Crisis?
two with Vandal
Yeah, right
Savage,
after.
which is one
That
of
would have
my,
been right after the first Crisis, right? When Barry or Wally took over.
yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a good series. It really
Mhm.
was.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was Mike. Yeah, I got a bunch of these.
Hmm. Yeah. Good read back in the day.
Dude, I bet you got a bunch of shit that I didn't realize was Mike. And,
Here's a
not shit, but
patriotic,
comics.
a lot of patriotic stuff. Here's the Norman Rockwell. There you go.
Cool.
What are you going to do for 4th of July? You got some steaks you marinating? Or are you going to have them marinating or something? You going to do
We're
some
gonna do.
kebabs?
I think we're gonna do burgers and dogs and stuff for the actual 4th, and then we're gonna
Mm,
do fajitas on Saturday, and
mm.
then we're still tossing it up. I don't know if we're gonna do chicken or steak for Sunday's dinner. Probably Michael
Let's see if
chicken.
this let's see if this next one gets us struck down. I don't think it will. She's got clothing on. But
Well,
there's your Betty. Betty for hump day. Homer
she
Glitch is
got
going
the
to have
hump.
his hump day show tonight. Betty won't be
You
there,
got some
but
humps, some lovely lady.
Do you remember? Here's your do you remember moment when the
Nope.
Kingpin went up against Joe Fixit. Yeah, he ain't
Oh,
gonna hurt the Hulk. I'm sorry. Even the Gray Hulk.
no.
Mob
Although
boss versus mob boss.
Grey Hulk didn't, I don't think he got stronger as he got angrier. He was just, he was a certain strength level. So
Okay.
him and whatchamacallit might have been a pretty good match.
Yeah, Steve Ditko actually brought that in. Check this out at Yosemite National Park. Horsetail Falls, a beautiful firefall created by the setting sun illuminating Horsetail Fall in Yosemite National Park. I would love to see something like this. But now Yosemite is due to explode, isn't it? Have a
Nah,
massive earthquake? Huh?
I think that.
You
I
don't
think
think so?
that.
It's an unstable region, my friend.
It's been
They
an
say it's
unstable.
years over.
It's been an unstable region for a long time.
Now, Shadowhawk, how can you have went through 1980 and the explosion of Mount St. Helens and say things can't happen in North America? Come on.
I didn't. When did I say things can't happen in North America?
Oh, he caught me on that one. Damn it.
I'm
Okay.
just saying that's
I'm
been
just
a very
saying. Well,
unstable
I mean,
area
you
for a very
alluded to
long.
maybe. I don't ever
Look at
happen.
look at the
California
islands.
will never fall off. The
Look at the
record.
islands of Hawaii. They didn't have any giant problems until just a couple of years ago. They had volcanoes cooking on there for the last 100 fucking years, right? Open fucking cauldrons, so you could walk up to the rims and take pictures of this shit. I mean,
Oh yeah. I
when
mean, the most
it
horrific
happens, it happens.
story I ever
You
heard.
just gotta hope you're not there when it happens.
The most horrific story I ever heard, Shadowhawk, was the dog jumped in and got boiled alive, and then the owner jumped in to save the dog on a
Yeah, well, that
moment's
was in
whim.
hot springs, so that wasn't in a lava pit.
No, I thought it was at Yosemite.
Yeah, but it was in the hot springs where
Oh yeah,
the geysers are at and shit. That water is like 140 fucking degrees. It'll boil your skin in like seconds.
yeah.
It's,
I
it's,
mean,
it,
can you imagine the shocked onlookers though?
oh, dude.
If you
Well,
were
you
there
imagine,
witnessing that?
I feel so horrible for the owner because you see your dog die and you immediately go into rescue mode. And by the time you hit the water, you realize, oh, I just fucked up.
Yeah, but you only got about a second or two to go, oh damn,
Oh, I think you got more than that, man, because you're gonna be cooking for a minute.
Okay.
You ain't gonna die that quick.
Well, that's like just entering a furnace. I mean, maybe. I mean,
No, it's more
boiled
like
alive.
boiling.
I don't know. I've never been
It's like
boiled
jumping
alive.
into a boiling pot of water. You ever accidentally
Yeah.
like burn your hand with boiling water? It's fucking horrible.
Auction going on tonight, I believe. Wednesday on the Graybeards. This is Gary Martin. Frazetta recreation, a bad girl will be
Oh
available.
hell no! I ain't got no money in here. Don't tell me about this shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
So Gary
Vampirella,
Martin,
only one of my
Frazetta,
favorite bad girls of all time.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
I'm
Do you
sure
have
that's
a lot of
way out of my.
Vampirellas in your collection?
Oh yeah.
You do? Okay.
hmm I got a bunch of really cool. When Harris redid Vampy back in the early '90s, dude, I've got limited edition covers out the ass. I've got a blue silver 25th anniversary cover that's never been folded and never been stapled. I got it in a frame.
I've picked up comics that have, missing a staple or something.
No, this
Which
was
is an error.
purposely. It's a foil cover that was done
Right.
specifically, limited edition for the 25th anniversary. Never folded, never stapled, just made into a print.
Okay, this piece by David Williams has 1998. So I guess maybe late 90s when you and I were both kind of
Yeah,
opting out of comics.
yeah.
And I did for since 99 and
But his
2000.
Wolverine looks pretty good right there.
Yeah, I guess I'm unfamiliar with David Williams. Colossus bicep looks massive. I mean,
Yeah, it does.
I'm I'm kind of in awe of artists that can exaggerate those muscles so massively and still make it work because it's
Hmm.
not your typical arm, you know.
Yeah, it's
You have to
yeah. The
extrapolate and see
proportions
what's
are
that
all a
big.
little bit off. And where
But now
is
you see
everybody
something
today?
like this by Kirby, and you're going, "Yeah, Kirby, yeah, this is a
What happened?
commanding
Everybody
pace."
getting mad at me the last few days? I've been not making it
I,
for 2 hours a night. Seems
I
like
can't.
we're missing
Why?
some folks. Seems quiet
Oh,
tonight.
yeah. Well, I mean, at least your phone didn't kick you for a fourth time. A
Probably.
1972 photograph of Maria Rasputin. That doesn't even look right, but Rasputin, okay? Rasputin with the A. I guess the A on the end is silent. Holding a portrait of her father. So this is Rasputin's
Daughter.
daughter. She left Russia in 1920, became a U.S. citizen, and lived in Los Angeles until her passing in 1977. Star
Wow.
Wars year. I wonder if she got to see Star Wars. Probably not.
I don't
Rasputin, you couldn't hardly kill that dude, according to
know. They
witnesses.
say supposedly he had a huge old wang too. It's supposed to be in a jar somewhere.
Really? Yeah, they
Yeah.
probably. Yeah, well, I mean, wow, I didn't know
Dude,
that.
they said they tried to kill him in like 7 different ways to Sunday. They finally had to chop him up into little pieces.
About 19 hours left to take advantage. Over 40% off on pre-orders for the Nexus Deluxe hardcover omnibus over
Hail,
on
Glenn.
Indiegogo. Glenn Fleming in the house. How are you, Glenn? And we have got some Mr. Good Stuff. Who do
Hail,
you
Mr.
think you are?
B. What's happening,
So
Mr. Good Stuff?
omnibus, if you're in
Oh, Mike Barron's in it?
looking
Oh,
for
dude, the thing's a monster.
Nexus omnibus, yeah.
It's a monster.
Yesterday, Rob Liefeld celebrating 30 years of marriage. He says he's the lucky one.
Yeah. Now his wife and her sister, I guess, were like twins on like TV shows back in the day.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they're like celebrities. I believe she was actually for a short while she was the live model for the Evangeline. Remember when Rob Liefeld did Evangeline?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
I think that
Yeah.
I thought I heard that was how he met her. I might be wrong on that, but it was something like that.
Hmm. So kind of a cosplay model, huh?
Hmm. Before, while she was first getting into TV and all that stuff, apparently she was doing cosplay.
Now we got some Jack Kirby and Joe Simon goodness. We've shown this before, and actually I have a reprint of this in the Millennial Collection. Remember in 2000, 1999, 2000, even up into 2001, DC did the Millennial Collection that actually were stamped,
Well,
most of them. Um,
yeah, I vaguely remember that.
yeah, Young Romance, #1, 1947. This is the very first romance comic because Kirby and Joe Simon created the genre within comics, the American comic book. Very first young romance. DC published this for decades. I've got a few young romances in my collection.
What's that?
Do you have any romance comics in your collection, Shadow?
No, I do.
That would be a hard no.
I just never happened to have any wind up in my hand. I got a
Mhm.
couple of Lois Lane, Superman's girlfriend. I got a
Okay.
couple of Jimmy Olsen. I've got, the Archies and Veronica and shit like that. But no, I never got to any of the romance comics. I didn't care about romance. I was fucking 10.
Yeah, I didn't either. I did not either, my friend. But I've wound up with some. Thank you,
Yeah,
Doc
I'm
Blaylock, for
surprised. I didn't,
finding this.
somehow. I've ended up with pretty much every other kind of comic. And,
Yeah, I've got some test covers. It's interesting to see who did romance covers. I've got one by John Buscema. Might include that in the second book that we do if we do a second book. Thanks to Doc Blaylock for sharing this with us. Appreciate it. A long lost trailer he made for the show.
It's time I put on my ring.
Oh, baby. I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live.
Oh, that never gets old. If
that
only
was a
I
horrible
had a
trick you
live
played
action
on us,
model.
though.
There you go. See, that's a good excuse to drop your link there. Go check out Call Sign Orion. I will be backing that book probably Monday, RJ, just to let you know.
I'm hoping I can on Friday, RJ.
RJ was the last
actually, I don't know.
on my
I will
campaign.
know tomorrow. I get my check a day early. Yay!
Yay! I will get paid time and a half, and I will not be taxed on time and a half if they pass the big beautiful bill. That will be January though. Starts January next year, I believe. Goes into effect. But yeah, no tax on tips, no tax on a lot of stuff.
Overtime.
I love it.
Yeah.
Overtime. Yeah. I believe some of it starts January next year though, Shadow. So, any overtime, and they're making some of these SOBs,
I don't get no overtime, bro. Well, I mean, I get 3.5 hours every week because I go in and
probably
start
got
early.
more overtime this year than ever before. And so I had some overtime on that Atlanta job, and I had what is considered some overtime on the regular, local job here. So I don't know how they figure that, but overtime. I'm not supposed to go over 40 hours. Nobody's supposed to go over 40 hours a week. Otherwise, I have to hire you.
That sounds good.
But maybe they're making exceptions. I only want to work so much anyway. Check this out, man. A squirrel that has a beef with everyone. This is going to be good. The guy's on the phone on his patio, right? Yeah, a squirrel is just a rat, a nice looking rat, but
it's a tree rat. It's
somewhere with an acorn.
Some of them are cool.
Me, you little bastard! Get off me!
Dude, they'll fucking crawl all over your head.
Now the dog's gonna back off, Whoa! Uh-oh.
Oh, he's coming after the dog.
You just kick the dog and everything, get out of here. He's not worried as long as it's not on him.
No, stay.
Finally ran it up a tree.
Somewhere with an acorn.
Oh shit, look at it. He's all over him. It's like getting hit by the Flash.
Yeah, he is, man. He's getting hit, man. He learned how to dance though.
Get off me!
The fuckers all up and down. I'm looking, going, running around. I'm like,
No tax on tits. No,
I
no.
tell you, my daughter used to have a pet squirrel, and that little fucker would run up you and do that shit, dude. He just come running up your legs and then run around your chest and your head and shit like 3 or 4 times. He wouldn't hurt you, but it was just
Forget that.
those, those little nails running all over your body. It was like, ah, it tickled him shit.
Omer Glitch, of course, tonight being Hump Day, we'll have the Hump Day show tonight. Sadly, I had to work. I won't be there drawing, but I'm sure they'll have a good time. Omer Glitch saying my latest Star Wars Boba Fett artwork capturing the galaxy's most iconic bounty hunter, created by me, Omer Glitch. What's your favorite Boba Fett moment? He says. And here's his artwork for that. The missile's a little wonky.
Batman. Yeah, he's the Batman. Do. Nice.
Yeah. The missile's a little wonky, I gotta say. But other than that, the back missile.
He should have made it more peen like.
Oh,
look,
wow.
George Lucas just popped up.
Not sharp enough for you there, Shadowhawk?
Oh,
Not enough penetrating power?
We need more penetration.
Yes. Okay.
Bunker
Final
Buster.
24 hours on Rand Revenge of the Warrior Ashcan as Gatecrasher closes tonight. It is the final day of the Crusade Comics 10th Indiegogo. Colors near completion, all art and lettering finished. 56-page graphic novel ends on Ethan Van Sciver's channel this evening. Thank you all, and please pledge and share.
Oh, damn it! I got Gatecrasher, but I don't think I got the Ashcan.
Okay, and that's Ashcan edition with Ran, I guess. Revenge of the Warrior. I guess that's the cover. There we go. A few other things to go with it. Now, tell me about Gatecrasher though. And then here's the Rob Liefeld cover.
Ran is the original concept of what she ended up being.
Yeah,
Ran
but now
was
Gatecrasher, just the concept behind Gatecrasher.
So the concept behind Gatecrasher is somehow or another, Anna Ishikawa, who is she, ends up in some kind of like multiversal adventure type thing, and she ends up meeting herself as Ran at some point back in the past.
Oh, that's
and then
cool.
they both realize that they've got to find their way back to their own times, so they team up and fight their way through Nazis and fucking cowboys and Indians. And fucking,
That's a cool concept. I always liked what if. So
yeah, they kind of like travel through all the different dimensions of time and space and what have you, trying to help each other get back to their own universes.
That should be a good read. I like that.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun, and it's I mean, if you like Billy Tucci art, you can't fucking go wrong.
Justin Belmont's Pencils Down is only 7 backers away from 200. He says, "Let's do this."
Come on, people.
And they're being printed up right now. People are going to be getting these books very quickly, and I
can't wait.
Yeah, I can't either. I did check the mail today. I do have a tracking number. I supposedly, I have not even checked my Gmail, but for the Doc Blaylock's book and novelette, so I should get that here. Hopefully, in time to read it over the weekend.
I'm gonna have to put together some kind of display with because I think I back Pencils Down 2 or 3 times, but I got to get the cover that it's got Omer's drawing. I think one of them has Omer's, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, Yeah, fan art. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speak of Omar, and here he is. We just showed your Boba Fett piece. Um, he's probably been
And
listening.
then I got the original art from Omer. I bought that from him. So yeah, I got to put together some kind of cool display with that. That's gonna be neat.
Way Shack piece here. Very cool. Some of that black and white stuff you like, Shadow.
Yeah, get your way shake right. Whoa, that's cool.
That's going to be a cover for Cul-de-sac #2, he says.
Cool. All right, that's fucking crazy looking. I like.
Yeah, I thought the piece here done by Jason Bascom was crazy on Topic List last night.
Oh, dude, I saw that today on Twitter or X. Fucking wild.
And what is this? Is that Brutus? Is what that character Brutus, or what is that?
I'm not even sure who that's supposed to be, man. He just like kind of crazy, fucking out of his mind, badass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does some wild, exaggerated stuff.
Yeah, I love Jason stuff, man. I fell in love with him like 4 years ago immediately when I saw him. I was like, oh shit, this guy's awesome. Hell, it's probably been longer than that now.
Did you know, Shadowhawk, on July 1st, 1941, the world's first legal television commercial aired on New York City's WNBT. The 9-second Bolivar watch spot
Boulevard.
appeared on screens before a game between Brooklyn Dodgers and Philadelphia Phillies. And I will show the first commercial.
Jason 21.
Now, how do you say that?
Boulevard. Yeah, looks
so
like the earliest I've got from Jason is 19.
Ooh, I got you beat. I've got a piece done by him from 2014 and 15.
Damn. Yeah, he probably picked them up on an auction and he threw them in his extra.
Yeah,
I mean, I might
up. Yeah, and he did. Yeah, I did get them as extras. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
I do that. I got about 10 pieces in a portfolio that I just don't have room for on my wall.
America runs on Boulevard time.
Boulevard time.
Boulevard.
America runs on Boulevard time. Wow. That was a short commercial.
America runs on Boulevard time.
They were like, it was Boulevard and Timex back in the day, dude. That was the big two in America. Remember Timex? Takes a licking and keeps going.
Oh, yeah. How about Parker? Wasn't there a Parker?
No, I don't remember Parker's.
Okay. I love Fossil watches.
Yeah, but those didn't come out till like the 90s, bro.
July 1st, 1893. I bet you didn't know this. President Grover Cleveland. He's the only president besides Trump to have non-consecutive, runs at the presidency. He secretly underwent oral surgery aboard a yacht off Long Island to remove a tumor from the roof of his mouth. The operation would not be revealed to the public until 1917.
Yeah.
So from 1893 till then, it was kept till 1917. It was kept secret.
Like 14
Isn't that
years.
wild?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Tumor specimen removed from the upper palate there of the president. They still got it jarred up as a sample.
And it was successful, and he lived. How about that?
And here's an impression here. So it looks like they might have had to remove the teeth there on the side of his upper palate.
Yeah, maybe.
Because there's the actual cavity. Isn't that wild? Grover Cleveland was in. He was like chief of police.
Brother Grover Cleveland.
I found this funny, Shadowhawk. Telly Savalas letting it all hang out in 1974.
Those are the man boobies, man. You're fucking You don't take a
Does
picture with your shirt off unless your chest is in shape, boy.
does this not? I mean, they wouldn't do that today. They would not. You're right. They would not just show. You'd have to be beefed up
They
and buff.
they would
Yeah,
body double them or something, dude. They would stick a stunt chest in there.
yeah. Put his head on somebody else's neck.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean that kind of sums up at least Hollywood '70s there. For sure.
yeah.
That's wild.
The 70s were disgusting. It was a cesspool. Nobody,
Showtime started in
nobody
1976.
shaved. There was hardly any good deodorant. It was fucking everybody was stinky and hairy. Goddamn hippies.
Yeah, those were my two uncles, Stinky and Harry. Uh, in July 1996, Tyco released its Tickle Me Elmo, and that was, I believe, that year probably the most popular toy that came out.
Dude,
By
I'd
Cap.
still have one of the original ones. I don't know what they're worth on eBay now, but I want to find out.
Yeah,
I
it would
found
be
one
worth a
back in
lot
the
more if
day.
you got them like in the original box like that. But I know,
It's still in the
probably not.
box.
Is it
Oh, yeah.
really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, you might get something from that. Yeah.
Dude, I had to hunt that little fucker. I went to store after store after store. I finally found one of the fucking. I did like a 90-yard dash to the fucking checkout counter, looking over my shoulder. Get me out of the store.
Spinner Spotlight for June. We just left June 25th, 1991. X-Force number 1 arrives in stores. Sales of over 5 million copies made it the second best-selling title of all time.
Yeah.
And number 1 was X-Men, right? With Jim Lee.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. A little
And
Ron
I
Liefeld.
all of these.
I've still got some of these in the poly bag with the trading cards.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. How's that investment working out for you?
Not bad. I made a few $100 when I needed some because I bought multiple copies. And
Yeah.
5 or 6 years ago, when I was in between jobs and things were looking a little rough for me and Mama Hunk, I met some dude on the internet that wanted to buy about 12 books, and I made about $3,000.
Wow. Yeah. Hell yeah. Spinner Rack, July 1st, 1976. Now, I just started collecting, so I did not see this one on the stands. Treasury Edition Spectacular. The race is on. So Superman and Flash racing in Treasury Edition form.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got the big one.
They're taking treasuries like this, giving them chrome covers and selling them for like
Dude, yeah, and then
$16
making them,
now.
new ones. I'm almost
Yeah.
tempted to start buying those, and they look really nice.
Big
But
reprint.
still,
Yeah, maybe I ought
you
to
got
buy
the
one
problem.
of them.
You got the problem. Nobody makes bags and boards and boxes for them. How the fuck do you store these things?
And also Spinner Outlet, and he is right about this. Wolverine makes his first appearance in Hulk 180, written by Lin Win and illustrated by Herb Trimpe. This comic represents a historic milestone. Comics will never be the same. But it took a
181.
while. It did take a while. Now, I actually have a copy of this Shadowhawk. Now, it's only in good condition. And these things are
So
about worth $100 in good condition.
is this now the official first appearance, or is it just still the official cameo?
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, I
'Cause
say first appearance.
I guarantee
but,
you 181 still goes for more.
oh, absolutely. A lot more. A lot more. You are correct, sir. But now this is the second appearance of Wendigo. He was in one of the magazines, made his first appearance. And this is only his second appearance.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, in itself. Yeah. And there is the first appearance of Wolverine in the last panel. If you go by the standards they set, this is his first appearance. He's got multiple. He speaks. He identifies himself as Weapon X and Wolverine.
Yep.
Yeah. So in multiple.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this should be the official first appearance.
It
But
is, and then the 181 should be, I think, his first cover appearance.
right, our first full length. You
And
know,
he wasn't even on the cover of the third book, his third appearance, when he's just on the splash page, hopping aboard, I think, a helicopter and leaving.
right.
You know, and
Yep.
that one's went up in price. You know, you can't hardly get even a good copy of that, anymore, unfortunately. Okay, it being
Well,
patriotic,
I
we
got
need
a
a little.
180. So
If people are mad at you, Shadowhawk, maybe this will lighten them up. Okay.
What do you call an alligator in a vest?
What?
An investigator.
I told my wife she should embrace her mistakes. She gave me a hug.
I can believe that. Look at Elon.
What did
Now, who's this supposed to be? Who is that?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure who that is, but they got a drink in their hand. Let me back it up just a second. Here we go.
what did one ocean say to the other ocean? What? Nothing. They just waved.
What did one wall say to the other?
What?
I'll meet you at the corner.
I like the little Elon in his spaces.
Yeah,
I know a lot
on
of
the
jokes
rocket.
about retired people, but none of them work.
Look at Hillary. God. Why does the president have a bag full of tacos? Look, he's got a little sippy box.
Mm.
Wow, Elon's like, he's like Muttley the dog laughing. Oh, man.
Those babies are nuts, dude. I'm telling you, you got to check out the Bigfoot vlogs too. Those are hilarious. They're doing these AI Bigfoot things, and they are just so funny. That and have you seen the Stormtroopers?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. I've seen the
Those are fucking.
Stormtroopers.
Those are
Yeah.
great too, man. They're so funny.
They've got one with aliens, out there too, but they're not that funny. I think we featured them.
Oh, I haven't seen. Yeah, maybe I saw it. I'm not sure. The Alien or Predator?
Leslie Caron, the actress, turned 94 years old. I remember Leslie, not by name, but her face.
Yeah, I remember her name.
Yeah.
She was probably in something good back in the day.
Oh, yeah. She was a beauty back in the 60s. Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say back then. But the picture you can show of her is that she's an old lady, right?
Ralph Baskey says American Pop that came out in 1981. It is now available to watch for free on YouTube in the U.S.
Nice.
So you can watch the whole. Yeah, that was a good one. It's got a lot of good music in it too.
I know what I'm gonna be watching over the weekend.
There you go, little YouTube.
I haven't seen that since the drive-in, bro.
I know, right? Yeah, that was an early drive-in one for me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Olivia de Havilland's birthday was yesterday. Of course, she's passed away a few years ago. She died at 106.
Wow.
She was born in 1916. So
That's
she
good
died
run.
in 2017. I guess. Well, no, it wouldn't be that. It would be
No.
She was the last actress, or last person to survive that had acted in Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind, yeah.
Earlier, I reported. Now her birthday comes up later in the year, but the stand-in for Dorothy on Wizard of Oz, where it goes from sepia tone, black and white, to color. She stands in so that she can go through the door. She's still alive, 106 years old. It was, a teenager, I guess, a young girl, stand in as Dorothy on the Wizard of Oz. She's still alive, 106 years old. She'll be 107.
You know why she's still alive? Because they made Dorothy do all the drugs. She was just a stand-in.
Hey, Elsie. She was just,
allegedly.
Well, I mean, yeah, she was on downers and uppers. I mean,
Oh yeah,
they
dude.
they had
They had
her.
her doing crazy like 16-hour filming schedules, and then feeding her downers to get her to go to sleep, and then feeding her uppers to wake her up.
Exactly. It was crazy. That's enough to drive you nuts.
Yeah, and she was what, like 16, 17 at the time? She was young.
Oh yeah, just a teenager, and they already had her strung out, like you said,
Yeah, dude.
uppers and downers. 1984 was not only my graduating year, it's when the Motion Picture Association of America, the MPAA, introduced the PG-13 film rating.
Oh yeah, that was the year before I
1994.
graduated. Yeah.
Mhm. Parents are urged to be cautious. Some
Strongly,
material may be
strongly.
inappropriate for pre-teenagers. Yeah.
So if you bring your kid to this movie, you're a bad parent, is what that was telling
Well, or you're taking
you.
your life into
Well,
your hands.
that's what they were
Yeah.
saying.
Josh Howard, which we had on last Saturday, 9
Not right
by
now,
12
bro.
single character commissions now available as add-ons, limited to only 5 on his Kickstarter. But yeah, he'll do a limited character sketch for you. So his
Wait, who? What?
commissions are
Where?
open.
I missed it. Which one?
Josh Howard on his Kickstarter, Dead
Oh,
at 17.
hell.
That we had on Saturday.
Yeah, yeah. I don't get paid till tomorrow. That's so
Adam
much I can do.
Lawson's one of those super backers, right up there with you, Shadow. He says he's backed 400 plus crowdfunded comics.
Hell, Adam.
Yeah.
I'm at 450, 60, somewhere in there. I don't know. Minimum of 400 on Indiegogo, and working my way up to 100 on Fund My Comic.
And you can go over to X if you want that. I can show you that. He shows you his top 10, one of them being the Lucent, I believe.
Okay. A lot of people are fans of Lucent.
Well, you know, it's amazing that he did all that artwork and stuff himself, you know, the coloring, everything.
Yes. But everybody knows who my number one is, and it is what it is. I don't want to argue with anybody about it.
Oh, okay. Yours is Cyberfrog. Okay. Well, you haven't gotten Devil Flyer yet. I don't know that I can top Devil Flyer, but we'll certainly try. You won't hate me for it.
I am certainly willing to give you a shot and an open mind.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. You know. I'm hoping Devil Flyer become one of your favorites. Yesterday we reported Deborah
It's already
Harry.
one of my favorites. What are you talking about? I would have
Deborah
been hanging
Harry
around
Blondie
the last
turned
3
80.
years.
How about a number 2 at this point?
No, thank you. I'm feeling fine.
No, thank you. Okay, that'll get you in trouble, won't it? Okay,
What?
so here's a message from Blondie, who turned 80 yesterday.
Okay, do you have a
Damn.
message for all the fans or wishing you a happy birthday?
Hello, fans. Hello, friends, wherever you are. I love you and thank you so much for sticking with dear old Blondie.
Thank you for sticking with dear old Blondie.
Oh. Dude,
I'd still go out on a date with her. Hell yeah, man.
I
mean,
had the hots for her in the 80s.
Junior high. Oh man, 7th
Dude,
grade.
I had no
She
idea
was it, man.
She's 20 years older than I am. I had no idea. Well,
I didn't care. I didn't care. I smanged on her big
she's
time.
about like 13 years older.
I went to a party and I played Heart of Glass on a little 45 all night long till people were sick of it. I probably played it for about 30 times that night. And we danced. Well, I loved it. I just loved that. You know, I didn't even have it. I was glad she had it. I loved that on the radio though.
Oh no, dude! I went out and bought the original Blondie album like right when it came out. I got an import.
Oh, I believe me, I wore out like things like Billy Idol, Def Leppard, Quiet Riot, on cassette tapes, playing them. So I started out on 8 tracks. My
Yeah, so did I.
my first car had an 8-track player in it, and I bought 8 tracks.
Dude, my first stereo my dad bought me was from Montgomery Ward, and it had I forget what kind of speakers they were on it, but man, these babies were nice and loud. But it was a stereo, an 8-track, and then the brand new thing that had just been built in was a cassette recorder. And I didn't even have any cassettes. My dad bought me like 8 tracks and the stereo, and I just played the living fuck out of those 8 tracks.
Uh, yeah, I mean, you could do the 8 tracks that way till they just drag. I did that with Peter Frampton.
You remember how that when you start getting close to the end of a program, you could start hearing the next song from the next
Oh,
like
yeah.
from program 2 to program 3, they would start to play over the top of each other.
Hey, man, that was one of the best things where you could select and change tracks,
Mhm.
with a button, push of a
That's
button.
cool. Well,
Yeah.
then they came out with the cassette, and it was like, oh, I can just rewind that. And, then they came out with
I
the
still bought vinyl at that time, over cassettes, but there for a while, yeah, I got like
yeah, I just
without
quit
a
buying
fade,
8 tracks, and then
white wedding.
I started buying cassettes for the car because they didn't,
Yeah.
skip and you didn't get the bleed through. And
Yeah.
then I
But
would
every
still
now and
buy,
then, get
yeah,
all
every now and again
tangled
they
in
just
there.
get chowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Child.
But
Janet from another planet just landed in Dallas.
woohoo.
Hey, Janet. Yeah,
Welcome
she's
back,
been
yeah.
out,
Or
been
yeah,
been
she's been out in
visiting
Vegas for a while.
out Vegas. Yeah. Did you gamble any? Maybe a
And
slot
did you
machine.
win?
And,
Or
and,
did the
and did
house
you
have
win?
its
Yeah.
way with you?
Ooh, that could have been
Oh wow.
put ready better. That could have been said, a little bit. Anyway.
No, I don't think you could have.
No, okay. I'm not going to argue with. No, man.
I think it said exactly how it meant to be said.
All right, we'll go with that one. We need some lizard representation, and here it is. Going up against Mecha Godzilla. Ooh, yeah.
Now we're talking. Look at that. Proper blue fucking lightning getting ready to come out of that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it was a fire extinguisher at first, I believe.
Yeah, dude, it was just like a little mist.
Uh-huh. This design will be used for Godzilla the Ride Great Clash ride opening soon in a park in Japan. Wow.
Oh, damn.
First look at Godzilla -1 director design for Mecha Godzilla. So this is going to be for
I
in
gotta go.
-1. This is going to be the design here.
I
Do you
gotta go
like
to
it?
Japan.
Do you like it?
Holy shit. Yeah, that's cool.
It looks more junky than even the 70s version.
What, the Mecha Godzilla?
Yeah, look at that leg. I mean,
Well, I mean,
it looks more.
but look at his tail and his upper body.
Yeah, the
And stuff.
tail individual
Much
sections. Yeah.
cooler than it used to be. I mean, the legs, yeah, maybe a little janky.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're just wild looking. The way they
Mm.
designed the thing. You can actually kind of see the hydraulic.
But I mean, he looks like he's actually a little bit bigger than Godzilla.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's jumping up out of the water there. I guess the air or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you still Godzilla's in the foreground there. He should be.
Yeah, you should see his chest is not even near as massive as the. But you know what? I think the mecha should be. It was always like
Yeah,
a
he
really
was
good
only.
foe for Godzilla. That
Yeah,
can
he
kick
was
his
only
ass.
thick, but
yeah,
his chest always looked kind of awkward. Back in the older movies, I like the design there on his upper body a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm looking
Justin
forward to
Belmont
some
says,
new
sign up
Godzilla.
page for my upcoming Pencils Down Sister campaign. Will launch on 4th of July weekend. Stay tuned.
Can't wait to see what it is, Justin.
Yeah. So he's
He's
keeping
it down low, man. He's not giving us no detail.
Yeah. So, do you think that's a good idea to launch on a 4th of July on a
I
holiday?
don't think it's a terrible idea. I mean, if you plan on streaming 2 or 3 times that day, like do a morning stream, do an afternoon, and then do an evening, and you just see how many people you can catch. You know, everybody's going to be home. It's a holiday, so
One of your favorite movies was released on this day in 1980. Can you guess what it was?
1980. One of my favorite movies, The Howling.
And thank you for playing, but that was a good guess. Airplane. 45 years ago.
I don't know if that's one of my favorite. I guess it's up there.
Way to downplay it, my favorite
I
character.
like it, but I don't know if I would ever list it like top 10.
My favorite actor in there, the blow up pilot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just say.
My
Doesn't he
favorite
turn
actor is
around with it?
Sonny Bono.
Doesn't he turn around and smile?
Yeah, he like looks at the camera, gives it a wink.
As it's being blown up. Yeah.
Yeah. If you look down by the belt line, you'll find an inflation valve.
Perfect suspension system. Okay, let's see what a perfect suspension. This is a prairie dog, I believe, and I used to raise them. Never tried this with one though. Another ground, fancy rat.
Is this Poppy?
Alvin and the Chipmunks. Look at that. Look how he keeps his balance.
Not that. I told you the other day, Rex, there's a popular YouTube channel called Poppy the Prairie Dog.
Oh, is there? Okay. I don't know if that's Poppy or not. This was on
I don't think
so
that. Nah, it's not. Poppy wouldn't put up with this shit.
No.
She would have done attack this guy by now. He's got pretty good balance though.
And what's what?
He just gets taller as his hand goes down. His hand goes up, he gets shorter. It's funny as hell. It's like a magic trick.
Yeah, when they sit there, they look like a little Buddha, because they like, once they fill out, because when they're born, they're just like little pink little squirrels with no hair.
Yeah,
And
they're little
then they're kind of real thin, but they put on that layer of fat, and they look like a little
they get that little chub going.
Little chub, yeah. Josh is only 3 days left on the campaign. Maybe he's doing sketch cards for final push. Nice offer though. Yeah. Yeah, and I take it he probably doesn't do a lot of that type of stuff. Some artists don't. That's good. Final push. Ooh, here's a nice one. Finished commission of Stingray versus Merman. Okay, so Merman was for the He-Man universe. This is a 14 by 17 watercolor and ink on 140-pound cold press paper. Don't ask me. This guy looks like maybe from Russia with the name. I'm not even going to try that. But yeah, here's a commission he did. Stingray versus Merman from He-Man universe.
Wow,
that's
very
nice.
cool.
That looks like a Bob Larkin piece from the early 80s, really, the way it's painted. That's cool.
I like it, man. I've always been a fan of
Stingray.
Stingray, yeah.
Yeah, I have too. I think he's vastly underdeveloped and underutilized, even today.
Well, I think it's all the underwater characters are because you can only tell so many underwater stories.
Yeah.
I mean,
and why is that?
I think
mean,
it's just hard to keep people's interest up, and like
yeah,
I mean, Aquaman never, he had his moments, but he was never like a bestseller.
he got married underwater. Imagine that.
I know, but
One of the first marriages in comics.
Namor, he appeared, hundreds of times in the Marvel universe, but he never really took off.
Abby's turning Japanese. I really think so. She's giving me the slant eye, saying, "You're coming up on 2 hours, Rex. Say the magic words, and we'll get out of here."
Well, I love you, and
I gave her 2 meals. She should be happy. She's attention deprived. Anyway, I would never.
Keep collecting, everyone.
There you go. Lackluster.